What's going on, guys, and welcome on in. You may notice there's no more green screen behind me. I'm actually recording from the brand new setup. Those of you that have stopped by the Twitch channel, you already know the deal. But I apologize to my YouTubers for the lack of content coming out lately. I promise we're gonna have videos coming out on a more regular schedule now that we got the setup ready to go. A lot of comments I got recently are about the equipment rolling guide. Y'all loved it. Thank you so much for watching those. Let's talk today about more gear rolling advanced tips and tricks. We'll take it a step further, and I want to talk today specifically using those tips, and let's bring it in action with the equipment crafting event that you see here on the screen. Big shout out to Smilegate. I love this idea. Apparently it was used in Summoner's War, and a lot of my guys, a lot of my viewers have already been rolling. They've been getting some crazy stuff. Go ahead, if y'all are watching right now and you've already gotten a piece of gear or you already know what you want to roll, let me know how it turns out, what you're planning to roll. Leave that in the comments below. I always want to hear from y'all, and I'll show y'all what I'm going to be rolling here and why. So let's talk what I think is the best way to min-max this sort of event. Let's say you had another opportunity to roll a perfect piece of gear, you know, perfect meaning the substats you want. Maybe they low roll, maybe they high roll, but they're still the substats you want, they're on the set you want, and they're with the main stat you want. What should you get if you only have one choice? Let's go ahead and just go down the list, okay? So, if y'all haven't checked this out yet, the first thing you start with in the crafting step is choosing your set. Now guys, what do you think would be the most efficient set to pick? Of course, if you're not a power player, go ahead and pick any set you want. However, if you're watching these kind of videos that I put out, it usually means you're trying to kind of, you know, min-max. If you don't know what that means, you're trying to get the most efficient choice that you can make, the best gains you can get with this, you know, limited system, right? That's why I think if you're watching this, you're probably looking to see what my advice is to get the most out of this event. Well, in my opinion, guys, there are only really 3, maybe 4 viable sets that you should pick from, and they are, of course, starting with number 1, speed set. Now, if you're newer, speed set is always good. It will never be bad. It is the premier set in the game. Every unit can make use of it, literally everyone. Some of them want 0 speed, but even if they have it, a lot of those units can still use it anyways, and 99% of the rest of the cast will make great use of the speed set. It is that powerful. It is overtuned compared to every other set in the game. However, the later you get on in the game, guys, we all know that Wyvern, I always suggest running Wyvern 11, going to 12, and going to 13. Eventually, when you play E7, if you are playing competitively, you'll have to be farming so much Wyvern, you'll be sick of it. And of course, what does that mean? Well, that means maybe we try to shift our set to something else because we're farming so much Wyvern. Let's go ahead and pick a perfect piece of gear for a set we don't run as much. Well, if we're not getting speed set, what are our next options? I think the next best option would be immunity. Okay, A13, you know, it's really not that difficult to run once you sort of get the mechanics down, but it does take a little bit longer unless you're doing that rare one-shot build, which I haven't even built yet because it takes a lot of investment. So I don't really run it too often. Everyone has to run it, especially if you play PvP, but you know, I still don't have nearly as much materials or runs under my belt compared to like speed set. So I'll be choosing immunity because it's also not quite as universal as speed, but if you do play PvP, guys, it is almost as, not necessary, but almost as usable in terms of just, if you have it on a unit and you're not sacrificing another stat, it is just straight out best or very, very good, right? Now, what else besides immunity? I think there's 2 other sets, maybe 3, and they are counter set. This one's a little bit more niche. It depends what kind of player you are, and really no unit that's on counter necessarily 100% needs it. There's some units that really, really like it. Think units like what? Charles, counter Dizzy. I run my Mercedes, Archie Mercedes on counter. There's some Fighter Mayas, Ravis, Apocalypse Ravis, things like that. Most of those units can be run on other sets as well, a lot of times like speed. So it's really more of a personal preference kind of thing, especially if you're trying to do one of those cool sort of builds like think counter Elena. I've seen pop up a lot in RTA. Counter Rowana for annoying arena defenses. So if you like to kind of build those sort of units, counter Specimen says, then you maybe pick up the counter set, because this is also another one where, especially if you don't have a Banshee 13 on lock yet, and you have maybe 2-3 pieces that are good from like either the arena counter set, something like that, free counter gear from Hell Raid, and you need that 4th piece that's really good, well, you can pick from this event which one you need, right? Other than that, same thing for lifesteal, boys. it's pretty good still. A lot of units can use it, especially more and more nowadays. Tempest Surin, Champion Zerato, Remnant Violet. There's actually a lot of martial artist Kens, guys, that have been used in the top level RTA came out, and they needed the lifesteal set with Sigurd Scythe to get that extra bonus. So if you have a unit that you really like lifesteal on, maybe like a Merce as well, that could be another option too. And the only other really viable option, I think, guys, is Revenge set. Now, this one I don't want to talk too long on because these videos are mainly aimed at my newer players, maybe my early mid-game players. And most of y'all should not even be looking at Rage set, or sorry, excuse me, this is the wrong set. Penetration set, excuse me, boys. Sorry. You shouldn't be looking at pen set, really, but I do think there is a case to be made for it. You almost never really want to set foot in Katie's, so the faster you can get, like, the pen set, it's, I think, the only viable set from Katie's Hunt. And if you do think you want, like, a Challenger Dominion, maybe one of your cleavers or something that can sacrifice their 2-piece set, like Immunity or Crit set, in exchange for this, then maybe this is your time to get it. But this is a very niche example, and I think most of y'all should not even look at the penetration set. Everything else, guys, I mean, if you like the crit sets, the crit damage sets, go ahead and grab those. If it's, let's say you really need a resist set for your favorite Soul Weaver. Honestly, just pick something you're happy with. I would honestly, though, avoid like the health set, the golem sets in general. Not my cup of tea. They're kind of weaker on average. Hit set, the Unity set, Rage set can be good for my PvE players especially. There are some PvP applications, but really it's a PvE powerhouse set. So if you like PvE a ton, you need help with your Banshee one-shots, some certain Abyss floors, you could look into this. It really is up to you guys. But if you're a power player that likes PvP, my suggestion would be speed, immunity, counter, or lifesteal, okay? Try to avoid the rest, and let me go ahead and start my quick disclaimer because it's already come up in my Twitch streams. Guys, if you're watching this and you already made a choice, this was too late because I know it's been out for a few days now. Don't even sweat it. All right, guys, use this information for the future, maybe another event, because I'm going to go over why I'm picking these, and maybe that'll help you for future rolling, things like that. But at the end of the day, let's say you chose an attack set. You chose some subs you liked, and it's already on a unit you enjoy. Well, hey, you got a set that players that haven't started the game yet, they won't be able to craft this. They're going to miss this event, and you already have a one-up on them. Enjoy your item, enjoy what you rolled, and, you know, be happy with it. That's all I can say. But if you haven't rolled it yet, and I advise a lot of y'all, don't claim it. Keep re-rolling the subs until the end of the event, which I believe is the entire month. Because anytime you're farming, spending energy, you'll be able to keep rolling, and you can even change your mind, guys. You can even change this set all the way up till the end. You can change all this stuff, I believe, is what my viewers have told me, okay? So, recap. Speed, immunity, counter, lifesteal. But really, at the end of the day, just choose something you're happy with. But those, in my opinion, those 4 sets would be the most premier, the most efficient, okay? So that's the set. Let's move on to the equipment, the part selection. Now, this is probably the most important part of the video, guys, so pay attention, okay? Now, you have the left side gear, weapon, helmet, and armor, and then you have the right side gear, necklace, ring, and boots. Now, if you weren't aware, guys, the right side, especially for this kind of event, is what you should 99% of the time always pick. It is just straight out better. They give you more stats because of the main stat bonus, especially since you can pick it. If you know, the weapon always has flat attack, helmet always has flat defense, armor always has flat health. Those don't really benefit a lot of units compared to having 70% crit damage after 90 reforge, right? 70% attack or 45 speed, excuse me, for the boots. Okay, so right side gear always, guys, especially in an event like this. Now, which between the 3 do you pick? You might be thinking, I just mean right side in general and they're all equal. No, that's not the case. Now, as long as you pick something on the right side, you're way better off than picking something from the left. But if you really, really want to min-max, guys, I've been talking about this for a while now, and I believe that necklace and rings should be your choice. And we'll go over why in just a second. Necklace and rings should be the choice. I know boots can be very good, and honestly, for my new players, if you do decide to do a boot, make sure it's speed main stat, and you're still fine. It's still very, very good. And I think the newer you are, the more you can benefit from speed set, because maybe you're having trouble finding a good piece of speed boots. Almost all your units will want main stat speed boots, so the more you have, it's never a bad thing. But let's go ahead and talk why necklace and ring are a little bit better than the boot option. Well, the main reason is because necklace and ring if you didn't know, when you craft gear, necklace and rings have a just straight up, they're more expensive to craft by a pretty significant margin. I don't know the exact number, boys. I think it's, I believe, like 20 to 30%. Someone in chat, leave me the exact number below. I just know it's a decent amount that you should be aware of. Because imagine, right? At the end of this, guys, we're going to be able to roll if you just keep changing your substat. Look at this one. This is actually not bad already. We have max roll crit chance, max roll crit damage, 3 speed, which, you know, we're not going to keep this. We'll probably keep trying, but let's say, we'll get to the last part in a second and more tips on that. But let's say I never get anything better than this. I'm happy with this. But keep in mind, right? Where was I at? To get these kind of stats on a piece of gear, y'all have tried rolling before, right? Y'all have, if you've ever tried crafting in this game, you know it can be extremely difficult to get 4 good subs that you want, and you know, why not craft a piece of gear that's going to be more expensive to craft later on, okay? Keep in mind what I said about boots, though, guys. If you really like boots and you want that main stat speed, I think that's fine too. Just understand that later on when you craft rings and necklaces, they'll be more expensive, okay? So always choose right side piece of gear, guys, and in my suggestion, choose one of the jewelry pieces, either necklace or ring. I know a lot of people are doing like crit damage necks, and then attack or HP main stat rings. Let me know what you guys end up choosing. All right. Like we were just talking about main stat for just a second there. I think the most popular choices for necklace will be crit damage, which I cannot select there. For rings, it'll be attack percent or health percent. I think those two are the best by far. They're the most generic. Remember, guys, also on top of that, when you're rolling this piece of gear, make sure it's for units that can, multiple different styles of units that you can choose. I would try to avoid like a defense percent main stat unless you like really love to fighter Maya. But think about it, right? If you chose a defense percent main stat ring, for example, only your fighter Maya or your designer Lilibet will be able to use that. But if you choose an attack percent main stat ring that has just generically good subs, so many more of your units that you'll have that can swap it around. You can change out if you just like that unit. If you get a new unit that you want to try it on, you want to go for a more generic, like all-rounder piece that a lot more units can use. So health percent for bruisers, attack percent for DPS units. Health percent can also be for knights or soul weavers, but I would actually try to go for speed sub. So let's talk about the sub rolling here. Last thing we'll talk about, okay? So we talked about the main stat, guys. So with this many points, right? Let me show you something. We're going to select this one on the right-hand side here. And anytime we choose this is very good by Smilegate. If we want to roll the substats, we can always keep the left side piece, or whichever, actually, not just the left side piece, but we can always keep one of the sets. Meaning, as soon as you find something decent, you lock that in and keep re-rolling to your heart's content. So I got lucky and I found this one that's pretty decent. Like I said, if at the end of the event this is all I'm left with, I'm completely happy with it. This is a piece of gear that would have been insanely hard to roll regardless. It's a very good bruiser ring. But I'm going to go ahead and I think you all should keep rolling this until the very end. Keep a track on when it's ending. Use all the points to try to get the perfect stats. I've had people show me gear already, guys, that has 5 speed base and then max rolls and everything else. You can get it. You might have to get insanely lucky, but it can happen and you have all the time. There's nothing to lose by waiting. Now, once you find the subs you want, and I would suggest trying to go, like I said, more all-rounder gear. If you're attack percent, guys, make sure you get speed subs, okay? I will say this. If you play PvP, almost in general, try to get a speed sub, and then let's say you have attack percent ring, speed sub, crit damage, crit chance. Your last one can be whatever you want. If you want it on like a Landy and you maybe need some more health or defense, get health or defense percent. If you want just all offense like an Arbiter Vildred, go for flat attack. Now, let's say you have a health percent ring like mine. You can either go Bruiser or you can go for a Soul Weaver Knight style. So that make sure you know if it's an attack percent scaling Bruiser, and if it is, then you're going to want an attack percent sub. If not, ignore that and you would use something like this. Or if you're on a Knight or Soul Weaver, grab HP, defense, effect resist, and then speed, for example, okay? Just make sure, guys, don't claim this too early. Keep re-rolling until you find something you're really, really happy with. And my suggestion is wait till the very end, because you will be farming a lot. Some of y'all are farming for all your portraits in the Guilty Gear collab. You'll be, ooh, boys, look at this. Not bad, not bad. I would prefer, we don't really need double attack on a health percent, but let's say something like a Little Queen Charlotte, guys. This is absolutely perfect for an LQC, right? Now, the rolls on the crit chance aren't enough. The speed's a little bit low, but we want lots of attack. And honestly, I can drop a little bit of crit damage. So just keep in mind what you get. I'm actually not sure which I'm going to lock in here. Neither of these I want to settle on, but, you know, at least we got something that I can save and look forward to it later. So once again, guys, let me know what you pick. Hopefully this helped out a lot. Remember, let's all recap one more time. Set immunity, speed, counter, and lifesteal, just because Wyvern is the best set, but the other three you won't be farming as much, and now we have the opportunity to pick the subs and main stat we want. Piece should always be right side. Choose whatever you want, but keep in mind necklace and rings will cost more to craft. So if you're trying to get a very good piece of gear, it's going to be easier. You're gonna spend less gold farming boots than you will necklace and rings. The stat, really, this one's just whatever you want. My suggestion would be attack percent or health percent for rings. Necklace, if you choose that. Crit damage and boots, guys. I almost want to say most of y'all should always choose speed. And then the last thing, guys, choose whatever you want and be picky. Be very picky. Don't settle. Wait till the end of the event and keep rolling, guys. Keep rolling. Don't claim it too early unless you get perfect subs. And then after that, guys, pray. Hope you have high rolls. And remember this, guys. If some of y'all leave comments below saying, hey, Car, I got good subs, but I low rolled everything, I'm so sad. Don't even sweat it, guys. Perfect subs with low rolls, it's still very good. That's actually something we'll talk about in part 2 or 3 of the series. Once you have good subs, guys, even on low rolls, you'll find uses for that way later. You're probably over your standards are a little bit too high, and as long as the subs are all good, even if you min rolled a lot of it, it's still very nice. Okay, so keep that in mind. With that being said, guys, don't forget to let me know in the comments everything you're rolling, what you're planning on doing, if this helped out. And I'll catch y'all soon, okay? Lots of videos coming out. I'm gonna have one probably as early as tomorrow, okay? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see y'all soon.